running is one of the best ways to stay healthy, in my opinion, because unlike going to the gym or playing a sport, running is 100% free. All you need to do is get you some shoes and you run out the door, and you run as far as you can. So anyone getting into fitness, I think running is a great place to start. And running a 5K is usually the first goal people set when they get into running. And to run a good 5K, in my opinion, you need 3 steps, all right? You need to build consistency, and then you build distance, and then you build speed. And if you can do those 2 things, you'll be a fine 5K runner. So first step to your 5K training is to build consistency, and that just means making a routine. According to Charles Duhigg, he's the author of The Power of Habit. He says once it's a habit, exercise feels easier and doesn't take as much willpower when you don't feel like it. And that's kind of what we're working towards. We're working towards just where it's like a habit. We got a routine and we're able to hold ourselves accountable for it. So you want to create a concrete schedule. You're going to say, I'm going to run 5 days a week. I'm going to run Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, for example, and you just got to stick to it. And then you also got to pick out a time. You got to run the same time every day. So you could say, I'm going to run at 3 o'clock every day, or I'm going to run when I get off of work every day. Whatever it is, you just got to pick one out and stick to it. And another big part of consistency, it's doing your warm-ups and your stretches. And a lot of people, they kind of scoff at warming up and stretching. I had this one friend, he told me, he said, have you ever seen a lion stretch before he catches a gazelle? You know, he says he could just run out and go fast without running. Well, and a lot of people, they kind of follow that philosophy, but it usually ends up not working out for you, because the next day, if you don't stretch, you're probably going to be really sore. Not stretching greatly increases the risk of soreness and injury. And if you don't stretch, you're going to regret it. So I'd advise learning a few good stretches before you run. There's a good website called Runner's World. You can learn all these things at. And that's just all part of being consistent. You got to work some good stretches into your routine before and after you run. So now you got your schedule. Now you're ready to move on to building distance. And it's all about getting to a 5K distance without stopping. Because let's be honest, first time you go out there, you're probably not going to be able to make it 3.1 miles without stopping. You're probably going to only be able to make it 1 mile, or maybe just half a mile. I don't know, but whatever it is, you're wanting to go further than that the next day. So let's say you can only run half a mile without stopping. Maybe the next day you're going to try to make it 3/4 of a mile without stopping. And you're just trying to improve your distance. Go further than where you did the day before. And a good thing I like to do when I first started out is I'd use landmarks in my environment when I was running. So I'd say, instead of turning around at this stop sign like I did yesterday, I'm going to go all the way to that light pole and turn around today. And you can kind of build your distance that way by using the landmarks in your environment. And a big important thing here is to not worry about your speed at all. You're wanting to go a nice slow jog, slow and steady at this stage. Speed comes later. You don't need to worry about your speed at all. If you try to run this distance really fast, you're not going to be building distance, because you're going to wear yourself out faster, and you're probably going to hurt yourself. According to the running coach Janet Hamilton, she says you have to start where you are, not where you think you should be. So if you try to run faster or further than your body can handle, you increase the chance of injury. So don't try to run faster than you're capable of. Just get to where you can do the distance first, and then you can add in speed later. So just trying to build your endurance, that's what step 2 is all about. So now you got step 3. Now you can build speed. Now that you got the distance down pat, now you can start timing yourself and try to improve your running abilities. So similar to step 2, how we was trying to go further than we were the day before, now here in step 3, we're trying to go in a shorter time than we did the day before. So let's say yesterday you ran your 5K in a 30-minute flat. Today you might want to try to run like a 29:55, knock 5 seconds off. And you're also wanting to set a long-term goal here. I run cross country at school, and at the start of every season, I always pick me out a goal of what I want my time to be at the end of the season. So let's say if you run a 25-minute 5K, You could say by the end of the year, I want to be able to run a 24-minute 5K. And the goal is not to shave off a whole minute overnight. That's not realistic, and it's not healthy to push yourself that hard. You're just trying to lose a few seconds at a time. And just every few seconds you lose, that's a big victory. It's about gradual improvement. And you don't want to push yourself every day, which sounds kind of counterintuitive. You think you should be running as hard as you can every day, but what you're going to do, you're just going to be really sore and you're going to wear yourself out if you're trying to beat your time every single day. So what I do, I have a lot of easy days. I'm going to say Monday, Wednesday, Thursday is going to be my easy days, and I'm just going to do the distance and run real slow. Then you could say on Friday, I'm going to treat that like my race day, and I'm going to run as hard as I can, and I'm going to try to get the best speed. I'm going to try to get a really good time that day. And that's a good way to kind of approach that, is to work in some easy days. And you can also work in a speed day, which is speed day is where you run a shorter distance, but you run at a faster pace. So I could say on Tuesdays is going to be my speed day. I'm just going to run 1 mile, but I'm going to do it a lot faster, at a lot faster pace. So that way you kind of learn, you get out of your slow 3-mile pace and you kind of learn to do a fast 1-mile pace. So in your 5K, you can kind of surge and do a faster pace at time to time if you want. And that's a good way to build your speed. So speed, you're just trying to improve your speed, hone in on your abilities. And once you're able to do that, you're probably ready to run your real 5K. You're kind of at the end of your training plan. So those are the 3 things you need to run your 5K. You got to build consistency, build distance, and build speed. But the main thing about all this is to try to enjoy it. Running kind of has a stigma of being miserable. You know, a lot of people, they say, I hate running. I don't see how anyone could enjoy running. But if you let running be fun, running can be relaxing and enjoyable if you let it be relaxing and enjoyable. And you just don't need to wear yourself out every day. And what matters is that you're doing something and you're trying to make yourself healthier. Somebody told me once, they said, no matter how slow you run the race, you're lapping everybody on the couch. And that's kind of what this is all about. That's why you train for a 5K. And if you follow these 3 steps, you'll be a fine 5K runner. And that's how I would approach it.